Okay, perfect. So I'm recording this video just to post it on YouTube because I think if someone does come across it, then they might find something of value in it. One thing, and secondly, I'm planning to start a YouTube channel. So I mean, I can use this as an excuse to build more confidence. Now, I'm going to talk about an idea, or I'm going to answer a question, or try to answer a question with the amount of knowledge that I have. And this question is quite generally asked, or rather not asked. This question is not asked, but the concept is really frequently talked about. Now, the question is, why does time pass more quickly as you grow older? Or why does it feel to at least pass by more quickly as you grow older? Well, if you've read the book 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, or you have any idea of what he's about, then a lot of the ideas that I'll be talking about, you'll be familiar with them. But just in case you're not, I'll just go through them, right? So I want to talk about, first of all, I want to talk about the two states of being, or two states of existing. So the first state is chaos. Now, chaos is everything you're not familiar with. Chaos is a state where everything to you is unpredictable and you have no idea how to do with anything. You are in a state of resentment, deceit, and all the bad stuff, right? And your axioms or your morals cannot really guide you through everything when you're in a state of chaos, or pretty much anything. So you're in a state of despair, you're in a state of anxiety, and you have no idea what's going on. Let me give you an example of this. Let's say if your best friend, right, like a long best friend, like 10 years old, bro. So a 10-year-old best friend, right, he has now betrayed you. And this is the first time it has happened to you, by the way. So this is the first time it has happened to you, and you have pretty much no idea how to deal with it. Because well, I cannot exactly explain it, and neither will I bother, because I will just drift away from the topic a lot. But that is an example of a state of chaos. Another state of chaos would be, let's say you have social anxiety and you go in a party and you have no idea what to do. Now your underlying morals, that your underlying axioms cannot really help you navigate your way through the party, because you spend most of your day not socializing and you have no idea how to socialize. Now you have approached chaos and you would rather go back into order. You would rather go back to your house and sit there like a dumbass and not approach the chaos because it's scary. So that's the state of chaos. Now, the second state is the opposite. It's order, right? So order is the state where you're familiar with everything. Order is the state where you can rely on your underlying morals and axioms to help you navigate your way through order pretty much automatically. So you don't even need to consciously think about what you're doing in order to actually guide yourself through it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're in your room, right? You know everything about your room. You know how the light switch functions. You know what's the exact problem with the light switch. Maybe it doesn't glow as bright as it used to be. You have allocated a place to keeping your files, and you know exactly where to go to get your files. You know how the internet works. You know everything. You have a schedule for your room. If you don't, then create one, by the way. But you have a schedule for your room. You set your bed every day, and you know how everything works in your room, so you're safe and comfortable there. And you can rely on yourself automatically to guide you through it. So that is the state of order, right? Now, order is basically everything that you're familiar with. Now, there's a third state of being. The third state of being is walking between the boundary of chaos and order. Now, this may be quite difficult to grasp, so I'll refer to another idea that the Taoists laid out. If you don't know what that is, then Google it, like Taoists, some bullshit, right? Taoists. So if you don't know the yin yang symbol, again, go and Google it, yin yang symbol, and we look at it in this way. So the black side of the yin yang symbol represents chaos, and the white side of the yin yang symbol represents order. Now, if you look at the symbol, there's a white circle in the black one, and there's a black circle in the white one. This represents that the state of chaos and order at any given moment of time are interchangeable. So at any period of time, your state of order, or let's focus on the chaos part first. So chaos has the potential to create order, because chaos and order are interchangeable, right? So that at any moment, so that translates to chaos having the potential to create order, right? And where do you see that? You see that in, I'll give you an example where you see that. You see that in children, for example. Now, before I go about talking about that example, look at chaos and order in this way. Order is limited, chaos is unlimited. Why? Because you are familiar with only a finite number of things, but you are unfamiliar with an infinite number of things. So as you step into the boundary of chaos, 1 foot at a time, or maybe like entire foot at like 2 feet at a time. So when you do that and you approach chaos, you come back into order and you relate chaos to order, and you can see how you can establish, or you can see how you can create some order in the chaos by using the underlying axioms that order has already provided to you. So you have now, just by doing that, you have now expanded your boundary of order. Want a real life example of that? Let me give it to you. So imagine this. There's a 5-year-old kid, right? There's this 5-year-old kid. He goes to the playground for the very first time, and he pretty much is clueless. He doesn't know what the hell to do there, and neither would I. And because he has never been to a playground before, he has never seen these instruments that lie there. He's never seen a slide. He's never seen like a swing, and he doesn't know what the hell that is supposed to do. And so he's in a state of fear and panic. He's left alone with all these people around as well. That's another thing, and he doesn't know how to interact with them. But he notices one kid sliding off of the slide, and then he notices multiple kids sliding off of the slide. Now he has sort of understood what to do, so he goes and slides down, and he realizes that, oh damn, that's fun, right? So he does that again, and then he goes back home. Then he comes the next day, and then he does the same thing with a new apparatus. He does it with a slide. No, it's a slide, sorry, like a swing. He does it with a swing, and he's now familiar with more than he was yesterday. And this cycle goes on and on and on until the child is pretty much familiar with the entire park and the people that come inside. The child has just expounded, what the fuck? The child has just expanded his boundary of order by stepping 1 foot at a time in chaos. Now, the third state of being is walking between the lines of chaos and order. And the Taoists made mention of the fact that this is the place where meaning lies in your life, and that is much more valuable than happiness. So this is the place where meaning lies, and how can you exactly tell when you are in the state of meaning? You know it when you do something and time passes by and you have no idea of how much the time has passed. You have no estimate of how much time has passed. You have no care about how much time is passing, and you're so utterly focused on it and until you check your clock and it's like 3 hours gone and you thought that it was 30 minutes. This happens a lot when you're conversing with someone new, or conversing with someone you love, or having a deep conversation with someone. Now, this also happens if you're a student, right? Like me, if you're a student, I'm just 16, I'm doing my A-levels. So if you're a student, whilst you're doing past questions, you would notice this a lot. So whilst you're doing past questions, you're coming across new questions, right? So that's approaching chaos. But you've solved questions before and you have an understanding of the topic. That's 1 step in order. Now, that's 1 foot in order, sorry. So now you go about approaching chaos and order at the same time. And this gives you a sense of meaning, and you're so involved in solving those questions that you don't even realize that you've just spent like 4 hours doing them. Now, to answer the question finally, why does time pass by more quickly as you get older? Simply put, you do more meaningful work as you get older. You get a job, you're working 9 to 5 for most of your day. You're just working most of your day. So when you're working most of your day, you do work most of your day, of course. And when you do work most of your day, you're more involved in meaningful activity, and you have no idea how much time has passed. And time has passed. Now, it's almost always that your estimate of how much time has passed is always lower, much lower, significantly lower than the time that has actually passed whilst you're involved in meaningful work. So your guess, or the way you feel about time as an adult, is really that time, there's not enough time, because you don't feel there's enough time because you're so involved in meaningful work most of the time. And people say that's, or maybe I have like a different view on this, and since I'm so young I don't know much, right? And this is just an idea that I'm presenting to you. So maybe you can comment something and tell me like, okay, this is something that you need to be aware of, and maybe questions that you need to ask, or questions that can raise my awareness even further. But yeah, man, that's pretty much my answer. Thank you.